As with anything in modern society, the answer is money. Ahoy, salty dogs! Welcome back to StarMade on the Star Squadron server. My name, of course, is Lenscap, and today we're playing StarMade, as I already said. Okay, so today, though, we're working on some things with the hub pub. I want to turn it into less of a just kind of random project that we work on every now and then, and more of an economic superpower on the server. So how do we become an economic superpower? Why, as with anything in modern society, the answer is money. So what we're going to do is we are going to fly our fleet out to the pirate station that isn't really a station, and fight some pirates, collect some loot, and then instead of selling the loot this time, because we still have, a couple of million credits left, we're going to invest that loot into the hub pub so that other members of the server can partake in our what? In our spoils of victory, and yeah, hopefully will give us lots of money for such things. So to do such, I'm trying to load this canister into the Heathen Hammer, which is our redesign of the pickpocket class that has it's got combat capabilities. So hopefully, okay, let go of me, please. Oh no, I'm trapped. Please let go. Okay, it let go. There we go. So now we're floating away. Or rather, it's floating away. Let's retract our arms and dock ourselves. We may have to wait for this to quit spinning. It'll quit relatively soon. But once we've docked ourselves, we'll take our fleet out and fight some pirates. I did want to say one thing, though. I'm very excited because I got a new microphone this week, and I think it sounds pretty good. I did some audio changes and stuff. I'm not quite 100% on the settings just yet, but it's growing on me. It's not the best microphone, so you definitely, like, if you're listening for it, you definitely can hear some weird digital artifacts. I guess they're like artifacts. I don't exactly know what the right term for them is. We definitely can hear some weird digital problems. I would call them artifacts. Okay. And alright, so we should be able to just back up into this. There we go. And now we're docking properly. That is docking procedures for the cargo container, and then redocking the forklift that resides within the ship. Something very peculiar is happening with all of the things docked to my ship. The drones are bouncing. The turrets are bouncing. Wow. Yeah, this is weird. So we're on our way to the station. Everything is docked. I know it is. I think it just has to do with some recent changes they've made to StarMade. It was supposed to actually stop the stuff, but as far as I can tell, it has only managed to make things worse. Yeah, look at him jiggling. It's all over the place. And we have arrived at the sector of the defunct pirate station. For those of you who haven't been following the series, we have previously discovered this pirate station that, for whatever reason, spawned in as just like a flat red square rectangle instead of a pirate station. So I've been using it to test our ships and test our fleet and kill pirates for loot, because that's the fastest way to make money in StarMade, as far as I can tell. Once you have some ships, is to just fight the pirates and collect the loot they've dropped. You can see there are some decaying isn't in the area, And those are from the last time I did this. So what I generally do, let's go ahead and launch our drones. And this is going to be really fun. We're going to use the drones. We're going to use our fleet. Let's order the fleet to idle in formation. And then we can zoom out a little bit and take a look at our fleet in all of its glory. Let's hit C. This is really going to confuse some drones, I bet. Oh yeah, look at them trying to swarm me. This is great. This is so fun. I love how derpy the fleets are, though. Honestly, I honestly do enjoy that. So, let's see. And I have the drones are going to be on the outsides of the fleet, so that's good. I'm still missing. There they come, the 2 missile ships. They are lagging behind a little bit. They're not quite as fast as the other ships in the fleet, so that's okay. They don't have to be. They have the most firepower. Actually, I think the Heathen Hammer has a little bit more firepower, but regardless, okay, now they're stuck in some weird kind of dance thing. Let's tell them to regular idle, and then idle in formation again. And a lot of the times you have to do that to knock them out of the ridiculous dancing motions the idiot fleets will do. So here's our current fleet as we dance around a little bit more. Come on, guys. Come on, you two. Here, I'll do this. That'll get them right in their right places. So this is our current combat fleet. I see. Okay, so it's trying to put that drone really close to that ship for some reason. I'm looking over here at the drones on the end. Anyway, that's our fleet. So we need to target the pirate station and launch a missile at it. So we can summon in some pirates. Now, I've done lots of pirate fighting on camera, so I'm going to cut out the fighting. But we are going to fight for quite a while, collect some loot. I don't know if I'm going to fill up this cargo container I have, but I am going to get a plethora of loot for sure. I should have launched 2 missiles. I only saw 1. So I'm not sure what that's about. 50 minus 2220. So let's order these guys to defend this sector. 50 minus 2220. And yeah, there we go. They'll summon the pirates for me. Look at all the missiles going. Yeah. This is awesome. So once pirates show up, we'll just have to take them out. This is the first real combat run of the ship. We did kind of do a combat run where we had it fight itself, and I lost that one. Or the ship that I controlled lost. So I'd say that was a pretty good test. Here they come. Here comes the pirates. Anyway, on to pirate fighting. So I did some weapons testing, and when I logged back into the server, I found there are chunks of one of my ships floating around. There's some other chunks like Cap Prowler. Minutes to midnight. I don't even know what that's about. We need to check these things out because I'm very confused. What is this? It must be part of a cannon or something. So if we look over at the ship as well, so this is the minutes to midnight. Wait. Momentary reflection. Minutes to midnight. Okay, so there are parts of 2 ships floating around. So here's the momentary reflection, and here's the minutes to midnight. So this ship is missing its main gun, its main turret right there on the side. Yeah, there's some damage for sure. There is a... Oh man, all of its guns are missing. Oh yeah. Okay. And what about the minutes to midnight then? Is it? Oh yeah, it's missing its guns too on the top. Okay, what about the ships on the other side? Where's my thing, actually? Here it is. What about the other ships? The Sad Buccaneer. Sad Buccaneer appears fine. I don't see any damage to it, really. Okay, and the Ashes looks fine as well. So it's just those two. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened, but they're missing guns now. Anyway, so I've redesigned the weapon systems on the Pickpocket class after the combat testing against the pirates. If you ever need to stop in a hurry, just crash into something. We're going to break this ship down and reconstruct it with the new version. It's times like these that would be really convenient if I had a shipyard that would accommodate a larger vessel. This ship is just too big to work in any of the shipyards that I currently have, which is really disappointing. Perhaps we'll build a new base soon enough that is for ship construction, but for now I'm just doing blueprints. So we need to upload a blueprint to the server. I'll do that in a minute, but first I need to tear this ship down. I guess the easiest way to do this is to go ahead and launch the drones. And they'll fight amongst themselves and figure out their place in the fleet. Okay, we gotta move away a little bit because they're kind of derpy. And then, gosh, what's gonna be the easiest way to tear this ship down? I guess just build mode and take it apart. Alright, so I have dismantled many turrets and a couple of drones, and God, this is a pain in the ass. I think what I'm gonna do instead is hop in the crossbones and see if maybe I can salvage the turrets. That would be much easier, if possible. I don't even know if this is actually a thing. I'm hoping, though, that it is, because if it is, my life will be so much easier. So, let's find a piece of heathen hammer. And moment of truth. Dang it! It cannot be hit by this beam. You can only salvage overheating ships. Dang it! Okay, well, fine. I guess we're back to doing it one piece at a time. Alright, I think I got most of the space junk cleaned up. There are still these drones here, but I might just leave them floating around. I don't see, they're not bothering anybody, so let's go ahead and all of my ship parts that came off of this heathen hammer are in this cargo container here. So what we need to do, am I near enough to my shop? I'm not. Okay, so we'll need to buy the blueprint for the updated Pickpocket class, and then we'll probably have to make a run to a shop and buy some more parts. But I'm hoping we can get that spawned in here pretty quickly. Once we've got all the parts together, it shouldn't be too much effort to get the thing together as well. Maybe we'll just take this to the shop. That way we have all of our parts with us. Yeah, that could work. Ho-ho! Arriving at the shop and just crash into it. That'll work. So let's go ahead and buy the blueprint. So we need to go into catalog. It is called Pickpocket Class Mark IV. So the Mark III is not on the server, it was junk. It wasn't junk per se, but it wasn't nearly as good. Okay, so let's go ahead and buy this. Okay, we should have it. Yeah, there it is in our inventory. We're going to need to, let's do it like this. I think the easiest way to do this is going to be to hop out of this guy and into the cargo of this. Put the blueprint in there and then set this as my personal cargo for now. Now I can grab my blueprint out of here and just info add all. Okay. Now I am missing, quite a few things. Alright, so we're going to have to do a little bit of shopping and fill up this blueprint the rest of the way. Alright, so these should be the last components that I need. So let's add all. Yeah, that was it. Perfect. I even have a couple of leftover things. We'll just sell those back to the shop because I don't need those in my inventory. Okay, so let's go ahead and spawn this puppy in. Spawn. We're gonna maintain the same name since we destroyed the old one. It lasted for less than an episode, so we're gonna call it the same thing. We're gonna call it Heathen Hammer. Heathen Hammer. Okay. Now, where is the Heathen Hammer? There it is. Now, I'm excited to show you guys the features of this ship, but the first thing we're going to do is load this cargo container into it. And then we may dispose of this forklift. We may not, because the Heathen Hammer is going to have one already. And... what? Why are there only 3 drones on that? Should have 8 drones. Okay, it may have all 8, and they're just not showing up. It should have 8 though, so that's concerning a little bit. But anyway, whatever. We'll, for the second time this episode, we'll load a cargo pod into one of these. Let's see if we can maybe do it a little bit better this time. Oh, it's this one. No wonder it was so weird. Alright, so we should be able to just pod release and back up. Back up! Back up, back up, back up. It didn't take it, did it? Oh no, it did. It did. It did. It worked. It worked. So let's just leave this here and hop in the new and improved Heathen Hammer. I actually have a couple of things that I want to make sure are hooked up right, and then I'll show you the weapons and whatnot. Alright, everything appears to be hooked up right, but there are a few issues I'm having, and I think I know why this is, actually, after thinking about it for a little bit. So we already know there are drones missing for whatever reason. There are also turrets missing. Like a lot of the docked entities are just not here. So that's very... yeah, that definitely concerns me a little bit. But I think I know what I did. So the blueprint definitely has these things on it. I think it's because of all the Heathen Hammer stuff that I left floating around in space over there. Because I gave this ship the same name as the previous ship, but didn't delete all of the parts from the previous ship. I think that's going to be why those things did not spawn in. They tried to spawn in with the names of the things that are, yeah, like Heathen Hammer RL17 or whatever. They tried to spawn in with those names and couldn't because the items already exist on the server. So I'm thinking that's what happened. Case in point, there should be a forklift there, and instead it's here because I already had it. So I think that's what happened with that. I'm gonna have to clean this up, either remove all of those entities or dock them onto the Heathen Hammer, potentially. Just dock them onto this ship. So I'm gonna clean those things up, and what I'm gonna do though, because I still want to show the ship off and its capabilities, let's meet up in a single player world, and we'll spawn a fresh one in, and I'll show you all of the things that it's capable of and the things that it can do. So here we are on a single player save, and I've got a new copy of the Heathen Hammer, well, that's a pickpocket class, spawned in. Yeah, it's kind of silly. If I had just been original and thought of a new name, I wouldn't have had those problems on the server. But that's going to be a couple of hours I have to spend cleaning up. So, darn. Okay, but anyway, moving on. Done is done. What has changed? The armor is now advanced armor. It was just hull before, so I increased the armor around the body. Now, that wasn't really a problem before, but if it's going to be a warship, it should be armored like one. The biggest change is to the weapon systems. So let's quickly take a look at the weapon systems. Also, we have a Y hole in here instead of the the thing we had before. So the biggest change, like I said, is the weapon systems. I moved the computers. They're no longer up here. They got destroyed way too easily in prior engagements. So I have moved them down into this area in here. So you have to shoot all the way through the gun to get to the weapons. They should be safer there. And likely I'll have a cargo pod docked here, so you shouldn't be able to come up behind and shoot them out either. Speaking of weapon systems, I have overhauled them. We've got 3 weapons and a defensive item. So let's start defense. I added an ion effect. So this gives me a 16.5% ion effect. What this does is basically it makes your shields that much tougher. So basically for every 5 hits I take, 1 is negated. 5 hits to my shield, so 1/15. That's not exactly how it works. Actually, that was a really terrible example. Ion effects are good, though. It makes your shields better. Okay, so let's look at the guns. I've got 3 guns. They're all missiles. I opted to go with the locking missiles instead of the cannon for this because after playing with it some and using the weapon, the lock-on missiles are just so much more powerful. Like they just are easier to use, fire and forget, and then you can focus on your targets and whatnot. So I'm definitely a fan of the lock-on missiles. The rest of this fleet pretty much utilizes lock-on missiles as well, so we may as well stick with a theme, right, when we've got one going. So this has 3 missile modules. Missile beam, the first 2 are missile beam. The third one is missile pulse, and then they each have a different effect. So the first one is missile beam punch through, so it's going to do a little bit more damage to blocks. The second one is missile beam ion. Has an ion effect. Now this is only a 50% ion effect, so that it will still do damage to blocks, but it does additional damage to shields as well. And then the third one is missile pulse, damage pulse, and then explosive effect. So it's kind of our finisher. So the idea is we shoot them with ion, and then we shoot them with normal missiles, and then we shoot them with the pulse, the nuke, which moves slower. As you noticed, or maybe you didn't notice, but when I launched the missiles, they the first 2 in slots 1 and 2 fire 2 missiles, and then the nuke just fires 1 missile. So it's twice as damaging, assuming that it hits. That's the big thing, though. That's the gamble, is that it hits. But so this is the new redesign of the lockpick class. This is probably the final rendition of it. I'm happy with this weapon system, and I'm tired of testing weapons, honestly. So this is the one we'll take into our fleet battle when we have a fleet battle on the server here pretty soon. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my video. If you liked the episode, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Stay tuned.